Hello, it's Erica here from Me Too Paper Crafts, and I'm coming to you with this week's Fun Fold Friday. Now, it's almost the end of February, and I did have a Fun Fold Friday for last week, and I had actually filmed it, but something really bizarre happened where I ended up filming it in two parts, and I lost the first half of the video, if you can believe it. I had it all ready to go and ready to schedule for you to see last Friday, and I was away for the week, so I couldn't reproduce it right away for you. And I'll just show you the card that I made. So the original card that I made, I believe, was this blue one, and I call this a card on a card because it's just simply a single card base at the back with a smaller card on the front, and it actually does stand up. So a fairly simple card to make, and so this was my prototype. And then for the video I made this card. Same thing, exactly the same thing. So this week I'm going to reproduce it, and I've chosen to use the shades of purple here. The stamp set that I used is this one called Beautiful Moments. I bought this stamp set because I have a sister, a wonderful sister. She's 10 years younger than I am, and I thought this would be a lovely stamp set to make her a birthday card this year. It's also a great stamp set for friendships, mother-daughter, someone who, a good friend, could be for a graduation, anything you like. And so I just love it. And you can watercolor with it, use your blends with it, lots of possibilities. So also for the background, I use some different embossing folders. On the first card I made, I did this hammered metal embossing folder, and for the second card I used the Pinewood Planks embossing folder, and so for this one I'm going to do yet another one, and this one is the mosaic. Now I've already embossed it, so it's ready to go. So I'm going to give you some basic measurements here, but I will follow this up in my blog post and give you the measurements so that you can reproduce the card. So as I said earlier, it's just a single base card. You could make it a traditional card with a fold here and then put another card on the front, but I'm just going to stick with a single card base. And this measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it's a quarter sheet of an 8 1/2 by 11 piece of cardstock. And then this Whisper White piece measures 4 by 5 1/4. It's a typical layering piece, embossed. So you're going to adhere this onto this piece, and then you will cut a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/2 by 6, and you're going to score it at 3 inches so that you get this card. And then you need 2 pieces of Whisper White, one for the outside of this card and one for the inside of the card. And these 2 pieces measure 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So those are all of the card measurements that you need. So the first step is that we will layer this embossed piece on the card base. Okay, so let's layer this on. Hold that down for a few seconds just to get that Tombow to stick on there. Okay, so that's the base of our card done. Now let's do some stamping and some coloring. So I really enjoyed making these 2 cards. I stamped the images and then I colored them with my blends, and then I did some sponging for the background. So we're going to do the same thing on this one. So let's take out our Memento Black. And we'll ink up this image. And we'll ink that up here. Like that. Okay, now when I choose to color, I like to let my Memento Black ink dry. It dries fairly quick, but I like it to dry even more, because I have found if I start to color too quickly, especially with the blends, that the black can bleed. So we'll do that. Maybe before we color, we'll start doing some blends in the background. Now you can use sponge daubers for this, or sponges, but I recently purchased, well, I shouldn't, maybe within the last 6 months, I've been seeing a lot of videos where crafters are using these blending brushes. So I bought a set of 5 online, and they weren't very expensive, and they come in sets of like, oh my gosh, maybe even up to 20 brushes. You just don't need that many. So I just have this variety here, and what I love about them is that you never have to really clean them. After you've used them, you just want to keep sponging them off onto a scrap piece of paper until they come clean. So they're really quite easy to use. You'll see there's a little bit of residual pink on there. So that's all you need to do. So we're going, this is a beach scene. So let's see, I'm going to take down some crumb cake, and maybe I'll do a little bit of sponging for the sand on here. So you just want to rub it over your ink pad. I like to start off the edge of the paper and then start blending. Like that. Okay. And then let's do the rest of it in a blue color. So one of my favorite blues is Balmy Blue. This one here. Now, you don't have to be precise with your sponging, with your, yeah, we call it sponging, or blending. I'm going to try and get in between the images, but I'm not too worried if I do. So we're going to just do, you know, a little bit of color on here. You can do a light touch and then go to a dark touch to get a bit more color. I love these brushes because when you blend, they don't leave harsh lines. Sometimes daubers, you'll see the actual circle from the dauber when you're using daubers. This seems to give you more of a smoother look. Let's turn this around, get the edges here. So I don't really have a small enough, let me just check my drawer. I think this is actually the smallest brush that came in the set. Yes, it is. So I'm not going to risk going into the center there. I'm happy with that. But you know, I might just do a little bit more. Now I can't remember which one I used. A little bit darker up here. That's a good enough background for me. Now it's time to color. So if I were to pretend this is me and my sister, although we're 10 years apart, I was probably a lot taller then when we were younger. But I have a darker brown hair, so on my blends I'm going to use this bronze color for my hair. And there's not much blending that needs to be done here. I'll just use the solid color. Okay. My sister was a little blondie when she was younger. So let's pull down a blondie color. Let's see, what color is this? I think this is So Saffron. Yeah. So we'll do her with So Saffron. And her hair was quite curly, like this little image. And let's see, let's do one of the dresses. We'll keep with the theme of the card. We'll use the Highland Heather. I also have a Purple Posy here. I happen to have the Purple Posy blend, so maybe we'll do some Purple Posy. Now I'm going to do some blending on here. So I'm going to start with the lighter color. And I prefer to use the bullet tip. For the fine areas, I will switch to the brush tip. But this bullet tip is good for most areas. Okay, then I'll pull in the darker one. And I like to just go where I think there's going to be some shadows. The lines on the images really help with creating your shadow. And if you want, you can blend that in, go from the dark to the light, just to blend it a little bit. There we go. And on this other dress, let's do, come on Erica, think, what will we do? Let's do, how about a little blue dress? Let's see, pull out this blue. What color are these blues? Seaside Spray, that'll be a good one. Okay, we'll do Seaside Spray on this dress. If you watch a lot of YouTube videos and you've seen other demonstrators color using blends, feel free to fast forward to get on with the rest of this video. But if you're new, then I try and give you some tips and tricks along the way for using your blends. So let's do a bit of dark color here. There we go. And again, I'll pull in the dark. I'll do a bit of blending. Get a bit of shadow underneath her hairline. There we go. Now for skin color, I like to use, I think this is the Ivory. No, Light Petal Pink. This is Light Petal Pink. This is perfect for skin tone. There is a light ivory or an ivory. Let's see, is this it? Ivory, yes. I'm going to show you Ivory. It's a little bit dark. so that's why I prefer to use the Petal Pink. Of course, if this was the end of summer, we're not even into summer yet, but if this was the end of summer, then you might want to switch to ivory, because by the end of the summer, we should have a tan. This little girl looks like she's got some sand on her feet, just from my blending. Okay, so there's the skin tone. Last but not least, let's give our, kids always have really colorful pails. So let's do a bright pink pail. We'll just do the dark. This is a Lovely lipstick. I'll just use the dark. Well, maybe I'll do the dark on the outside of the pail, and then the light color on the inside of the pail. So many fun colors when you're at the beach, for kites and umbrellas and buckets and spades. And yeah, let's do a yellow, bright yellow bucket. What color is this? This is, oh, Mango Melody. I haven't used this color much. This is the light one, so let's do the inside of the bucket. And then let's use the dark one for the outside of the bucket. Yeah, you just can't believe how frustrated I was. I was bringing the videos into my editing software and could not find the first part of the video that I did last week. I wanted you to get a consecutive video, but that, I guess, was not meant to be. Okay, so there we have it. Now, this stamp set comes with some shorebirds or seagulls, so let's put some seagulls in the sky just to add some interest in the horizon. Like that. Very cool. And there is a little tiny butterfly I used on the other cards. Look at this sweet, where is it? Look at this sweet little tiny itty bitty butterfly. But I don't think there's butterflies at the beach, so I'm not going to do a butterfly at the beach. I think I'm happy with that. Okay, so now it's time to mount this onto the card. And now on the first card I put a thinking of you, just a simple black greeting on the card. On the second one I put the greeting on the inside of the card, thinking of you again, with again that little tiny butterfly on there. And so for this one, I think I'll do another thinking of you, because I'm always thinking of my sister. She may end up with two cards because I've made a couple of thinking of yous. So let's give this, sorry, I might be getting my head in there. Thinking of you. Oh, perfect. Okay, so let's glue this down. Where's my tape runner? Oh, look at that. I've just run out. Here we go. A brand new refill. Ooh, that's way better. I did that side already. Okay. Let's position this on the card base, the small card base. Cute, cute, cute. And then let's pull out our other card base. Here it is. Oh, actually, before I do that, let's do the inside of the card. So thinking of you on the inside, I'll write a message. I think I will, you know what, let's, I'm going to do a little bit more sponging on the inside of my card. Okay, where's my balmy blue? Here we go. And then put some shorebirds in there. Was this the blue? Yes, this is the blue. So I'll just do a little bit more sponging. If you do a lot of sponging, it's wise to have your ink refills because sponging can use a lot of ink. There we go. And then let's put a few more shorebirds on there. Why am I calling them shorebirds? Seagulls. Shorebirds would be walking around in the sand, don't you think? Just put a few more in there. Ooh, I love those little birds. Okay, so we're going to glue this panel on the inside of our card. And then we're almost done. So I hope you'll give this fun fold a try. Now, oh, what am I doing? Here we go. It's quite easy to make. And there's a lot of fun folds that don't actually stand up. And I really like my cards to stand up. So I don't do as many flat cards. But I should, so that you can see how those are done, because they're kind of interesting too. Okay, now it's time to put this on. So I'm going to use Tombow glue because I can slide it around. I'll have time to slide it around on the base. And the key to this, to ensure that the card stands up, the key to this is to get it positioned down at the bottom. Now, you can measure the center of this card if you like. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to just eyeball the center. I'm just going to stick it on there, and then I'm going to go like tap it. Tap it to make sure you get it down to the bottom. Okay, and then just rub it to get that Tombow glue to stick. There you go. Another card on card. That's what I'm calling it anyway. If you look it up on YouTube, I don't think you'll find that name. That's my name. Because I'm sure somebody else has come up with this design somewhere. So there are the 3 cards that I made using the 3 different images from this Beautiful Moments stamp set. This is in the Spring 2020 catalog. I think you'll get a lot of uses out of this for all occasions, and if you love to color, then wow, this is just absolutely ideal. There's lots of other stamp sets in the catalog, annual catalog as well, that are these line drawings, and so you can mix and match. There's mountain scenes and water scenes, and you could just do all kinds of creativity, especially if you want that artistic look without having to draw, because I can't draw. Anyway, I hope you like my video. Please give me a thumbs up. You can leave me a comment, ask any questions, I can get back to you. I will leave down below in the description, I will leave a link to my blog post so you can get all the measurements. So thank you so much for watching. Until next week, bye for now.